Years ago, I had this young staff member who had every attribute to become a really good hairdresser. Well, almost every attribute. You see, her problem was that she was a perfectionist. And nothing wrong with that, you might say, but let me explain. You would try to teach her a haircut, for example, just a simple one-length bob. And she was such a perfectionist that all she could see was what was wrong with it. I don't think that she ever finished a haircut on training night because she was so obsessed with it being perfect that it always ended in tears. Hers, not mine. And I'd always have to finish it off. I used to say to her that learning to cut hair and eventually becoming a productive stylist was a series of 4 steps. Step 1 was learn how to do it. Learn how to do it from beginning to end. Understand what the steps are. What are the tools and the technique needed to get to the desired end result? The first step is simply learning the how and developing the insights and understanding of how the haircut works. In that first stage, I don't care that it's not perfect or how long it has taken you. I just wanted her to complete it, to understand it from beginning to end. She never did. Step 2, learn how to do it better. You see, once you understand how to do something, then yes, you need to learn to understand how to do it better. That's when you can start to strive for perfection. That is essentially the philosophy at Sassoon. They strive for perfection. But in my 10 years working there, no matter how many bobs I cut or how many assessments I took, the haircut was never perfect. You could always be a pedantic pain in the arse and find something wrong with it. But nonetheless, once you've mastered step 1, which is learning how to do it, you need to master step 2, which is learning how to do it better. Once again, when you're learning how to do it better, it doesn't matter how long it takes in that all-elusive pursuit of perfection, because the distinctions that you make and the attention to detail that you start to see is where the really valuable lessons lie. Step 2 is all about turning your technique and disciplines into a habit, committing to the practice, doing it again and again and again until you're good at it, until it's part of who you are and what you do. And that takes us to the 3rd step. Step 3 is learning to do it quickly. Whilst it might be nice for you to spend a couple of hours in the pursuit of perfection, it's not financially viable. And rare is the client who wants to sit there for 2 hours while you cut their hair. So like it or not, commercial reality is a necessity. And learning to get the desired end result to the right standard within a time constraint is the 3rd skill. It takes time to develop the 3rd step. It's a case of the more you do, the better. And as time passes, you will become more efficient with your time and more confident with your technique. And as a result, the quicker you will become. Step 4 is learning to thrive in the salon situation. Step 4 is the final step. I used to teach people to cut hair on a doll's head or mannequin head because the doll's head doesn't talk. It isn't getting married next month and they aren't in a hurry. They aren't growing out old layers and they generally don't have a dad or a boyfriend waiting for them. The upside of all that is that you can focus on understanding the technique. But once you've mastered the technique on a doll's head, of course, it's much harder dealing with all the issues that a real person brings, whilst having to be charming and talk about your holidays and home hair care and recommend colour, etc. But that's what real success as a salon stylist is. When you master that, you're on your way to becoming what I call a super stylist. If your team don't currently use Grow One Super Stylist as a training aid for what it takes for them to be really successful as a stylist, you can get it at my website, growmysalonbusiness.com. Thank you for watching. If this has been helpful and you'd like to find out more about what we do, then visit growmysalonbusiness.com. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook or Instagram at growmysalonbusiness. Have a great week.